my regular co-hosts have decided to flee in terror, as they are wont to do. That's fine. That's fine. We don't care, right, Deke? No, we don't care. We are also now live on YouTube. Calvin's in the house. What's up, Calvin? Say what's up to Calvin.
Hello, Calvin.
You got to speak up, buddy.
Hello, Calvin.
You got to talk louder. Can you talk louder?
Hello, Calvin.
Can you put a little enthusiasm into it? What's up, Calvin?
I don't want to say.
Oh, God. Come on now, man. We're live on the Psycho Bunny Death Cult. You can't be phoning it in now. We rehearsed this, right? Oh, no, we didn't. Calvin, have you ever seen a horror anime called Wicked City? I recently watched it. I actually watched it about a week ago, but we decided not to do it a week ago because that's when Nevada had their great meltdown, so we had to cancel that show completely. Deacon here has not seen it because there is quite a bit of involved in it, and we'll just leave it at that.
You mean the virus?
Yeah, a lot of that going on, and it's pretty bad. It's not a cartoon for kids, what I would say. It's more of a cartoon for mommies and daddies, which is weird to think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would mommies and daddies watch a cartoon? Summer's in the house. Say what's up to Summer. Hey, Sharon's in the house also. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Where's Pennsylvania?
That's on the other side of the country. That's a big city, is where Sharon is coming from. Hello, Summer. How are you? Nobody in Monica, but I decided my 5-year-old son Deacon is going to join me tonight because I was getting a little lonely in here, and he likes to chime in about cartoons sometimes. And that's what we're doing this whole month, which thankfully is now over, by the way. I've had about enough of this horror anime business. I think we all have, right? Deacon, what do you think of these? What do you think of scary cartoons? No good?
Or if they
He says no good. He says they're no good. So that's, I mean, you don't like scary movies to begin with, right? No way, dude.
No.
Daddy's always watching scary movies, and every now and then Deacon gets wrangled into it because I don't want to watch PJ Masks or whatever the case may be, because we've had like a 32-hour marathon of it because school's out. So it's been pretty much a nonstop PJ Masks. Oh, God. Enough with the PJ Masks. Let's get into the show here, shall we? We got a podcast to do.
more than PJ Masks. We have to worry about the show more than PJ Masks.
That's exactly right. We got a show to do, and it's not about PJ Masks. It's about scary movies. It's about horror films. Right, Dee Dee? Deacon knows what's up. Monica and Buddy could not be here. I apologize for that. Buddy's having a family situation, and Monica, from what I understand, is still at work. But we're going to do a podcast anyway on Wicked City. Oh, man. It's a little warm in here, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Let's get into Wicked City.
Okay.
Let me just make sure your microphone's on. You don't have to wear the headphones if you don't want to.
No, I want to.
You want to wear the headphones? Okay. They look good on you. You're looking good in the headphones. You look like you should be beatboxing. Or you don't know what that is, do you?
No.
All right, enough about the beatboxing. Let's get down to business here, kids. Here comes Wicked City. That's right, inmates. We're talking about Wicked City. This is from 1987. We were supposed to cover this one a couple weeks ago on the show that we had to cancel, but we're back now. We're making up for lost time with Wicked City. It is from 1980. This one comes straight out of Tokyo, Japan. And it stars Yusaka Yara, Toshiko Fujita, Ichiro Nagai, and is written and directed by Hideyoko Kikiwari. I know I'm screwing up that pronunciation wildly, so
I do not know what you just said.
I know it's all Japanese. Can you speak into your microphone?
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. So this one, has anybody out there seen the Day Watch or Night Watch movies? I know you haven't, right? It'd probably give you nightmares.
No.
Okay, well they're pretty good movies. The mythology of this one falls in line with those movies quite a bit. Allow me to explain. So before our story picks up, we're actually going to get into some backlog. And oh, hey, Karen's in the house. Can you say what's up to Karen?
Hello, Karen.
Karen's all the way from Indiana. I know, I know. You don't know anything about Indiana. But so what we have here is like a futuristic uh, metropolitan area, and just beneath that, though, lies another dimension called the Black World, and that is like a it's the same as our dimension, but it is filled with monsters like vampires, werewolves, all the stuff that gives you the creeps. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that kills people.
Yeah, they want to kill people, and sometimes, each other too. They want to kill each other sometimes.
I've never done that.
I know, but the main thing is though is that so that's the black world, and we live in the white world. Well, they never refer to it as the white world; they just call it the human plane. And
You mean the regular world?
yeah, the world that we live in. So the thing is, though, is that the black world and our world have been at war for like millennia, and we fought each other to a stalemate. And this is just if you've seen the Night Watch or Day Watch movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about because that's exactly where we're going.
So the black world wants to fight our world?
Kinda, and they actually have been fighting our world for quite some time. But it's come to a stalemate. So the leaders of the black world came to the leaders of our world and said, okay, dudes, let's just stop with the fighting. We're going to have a peace accord, and we're going to each form our own governing bodies to monitor the other side so that we can make sure that we're both on the,
Same side?
yeah, and that nobody's breaking the rules of the peace accord, which makes sense. And that's pretty much the start of the Night Watch movies or the Day Watch.
Who's,
Huh.
who's fighting the black world?
Our world is, according to this movie. But that not being, that's just the backboard. Now we're going to get into our story. And bear in mind, we're picking up in 1987 Tokyo, Japan. So this is going to get sleazy right off the get-go. So we're gonna jump right into a bar situation where one guy has made a bet with another guy about whether or not he can with a young lady there. And that's kind of tricky because I mean, no, does anybody even do that anymore? There was a lot of that flying around in the 1980s, but these days I feel like that's kind of gone the way of the dodo. The main thing though is that he's gonna score is what he's gonna do. So he takes the young lady home, the patron does, and a lot of they play hide the. They engage in some
Funny business?
yeah, some funny business. Dee Dee, I think that's the best way to put it. And when they're done with the funny business, the young lady actually kind of turns into a tarantula type character.
You mean a monster?
Like a giant spider is what I would call her, is what she turns into. And she doesn't kill the guy, but she does make a lot of threats to him, and she's like, "Hey, man, I got what I need from you. I really enjoyed that funny business, and that's all I need. So I'm going to get up out of here now." Adult things, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Clay. Um, but that happens, and to be honest with you, this scene is quite adult. It's quite adult in nature, meaning that there is some nudity involved. My daughter says spaghetti. That's a good way of putting it, Sharon. Spaghetti. There's some spaghetti involved.
Daddy?
I know it doesn't make any sense, but we're just going to go with it, okay? And we'll have this talk in about 10 years, I think. Anyway, there's some spaghetti involved, and you get to see a lot of spaghetti, okay?
You mean like spaghetti?
Exactly.
And spaghetti arms?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. Spaghetti arms, Deacon. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, spaghetti arms. You know what's up. And there's a lot of that. And some spaghetti goes in her mouth and in some other places. And there's, for a cartoon, there is quite a bit of spaghetti. Sharon. So that's interesting, and you get to see a lot of spaghetti too. And then things go from there. She's like, "Hey, man, I got what I need from you. That was some pretty good spaghetti. I'm gonna get up out of here." And he's like, "That chick just turned into a tarantula, man. She just turned into a giant spider, a giant naked spider, and she came out of the ceiling, and that was gnarly." But he goes, I mean, now we're going to get into the next day, and we're going to find out more about the bar patron. He's actually a secret agent, and he works kind of undercover for our world's policing force of the black world. Does that make sense? He's kind of like a policeman, but he keeps track of the monsters.
Also, he goes to the monster's world and then hide from the monster, and then every time the monster walk.
Kind of like that, yeah. He just keeps track of the monsters, is the thing.
So he puts a tracker on them?
Not really. He just kind of keeps, like make sure that they're following the rules of the peace accord. For a cartoon, it's a bit more anime. You could say that, Sharon. That's a good way of putting it. So from there, he goes to his boss the next day, and he's like, "Hey, one of those Black World chicks had some spaghetti with me last night, and then turned into a giant tarantula. And I didn't know she was from the Black World, but we had spaghetti and then tarantula, and clearly something nefarious is going on." And his boss is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, there, dude. That's pretty gnarly, but I have a top secret mission for you. We're about to renew the peace accord, and I need you to go and like find the chief negotiator. There's one guy. His name is Giuseppe, and without him, the peace accord does not get renewed. So you're going to be his bodyguard. Oh, by the way, in classic late '80s fashion, you have a partner." And the guy's like, "I only work alone because I'm a hard cop and I play by my own rules," and stuff like that. And
So he doesn't need a boss?
he does need a boss. He doesn't need a partner, is what he's saying. And to make things more interesting, his partner that he's about to get assigned to is from the Black World also. So it's like a tandem task force to protect this Giuseppe guy.
So the Black World is helping our world?
In this particular case, yes. Because really, neither world wants to go to war again. We both want the peace accords to be renewed, but the problem is that there's like splinter factions on both sides that want war, and we need to protect this guy from those splinter factions because we don't want another war with the Black World. They don't want another war with us. So from there, the main guy, his name is Santo. He has to go to the airport to meet his new partner and pick up Giuseppe. He goes to the airport and immediately gets attacked by two Black World monsters.
Wait, so one good versus two bad?
Exactly. That's exactly right. And he manages to kill one of them, and he's taken a pretty good beating from the other one when his newfound partner shows up. And wouldn't you know, she's a very attractive lady, Deacon. She is very pretty, is what I'm telling you. And I guess you come to expect that. They don't normally draw ugly ladies in anime cartoons. What is Crackhouse Matt's in the house? Can you say what's up to Crackhouse Matt?
Can you spell that name?
You don't have to spell it. Just say hi, Crackhouse Matt.
That's a long name.
Just say hi, Matt. Can you do that?
Okay, hi, Matt.
There you go. What is Deacon's favorite horror movie? I don't remember you making him give a top 3. What's your favorite scary movie, Dee Dee? Can you think about it?
Yes.
Okay, you think about it.
I know what it is, but I just don't know the name.
What is it about?
Some guys making electricity making a big guy, and then
Frankenstein. Frankenstein?
And then superheroes coming in to save him.
I don't know. We'll have to do some research on that during the break. Anyway. Japanese, bud?
Japanese.
Okay. Big Man Japan.
Yeah.
Big Man Japan. Crackhouse Matt. That's not really it. I mean, that's a wacky movie right there. The monsters in that movie are wacky. The one that farts all over the city. Remember that?
No.
All right. Anyway, we'll get back to that later. So he goes there. He gets jumped by these two other guys. I'll get out there to see you again soon, bud. You owe me a Nerf gun rematch. He said. You owe Matt a Nerf gun rematch. He says. Anyway, we get out. He gets to the airport. Gets attacked by the two monsters. Kills one. He's got like a super gun that shoots. Is good at shooting monsters, I guess.
Is that message from Zach? Because
no, it's from Matt.
Okay.
You don't. Zach's not watching this. I promise you that. Godzilla. No, it's big man Japan, Sharon. It's streaming on Shudder. It's absolutely ridiculous, but you're in the right neighborhood for sure. Kills one of the monsters. I'm trying to do a podcast here. You crazy guy. Quit interrupting me.
I didn't talk.
You're making me crazy.
I didn't talk.
I'll punch you in the face.
That might be the face.
I'll do it. Anyway, shoots one of the monsters. The other monster's putting a pretty good beating on him. And then the partner shows up, who's a very attractive lady, and saves him from the other monster. From there, they go into the airport to wait for Giuseppe's plane to land. As the plane is landing, just before it lands, it blows up, explodes.
So he's killed.
Well, you would think that, right? But then as they're sitting there in the terminal watching the plane explode and all the wreckage, they look over and Giuseppe is sitting right next to him in the terminal. And he's a little old guy. He kind of looks like a gremlin. That kind of looks more. He looks like a cross between a gremlin and the Crypt Keeper, if that makes any sense. Which is not a good. It's not a good combination. Don't pick your nose. We're live on the Psycho Bunny Death Cult. And you're picking your nose right now. Are you really? That's how you're going to present yourself? You're picking your nose.
You already presented.
All right, I'm going to pick your nose for you then.
Okay, I'll pick.
No, you get out of here. You get right out of here. Anyway. So they're like, oh, okay, there he is. And we find out this guy's a dirty old man. Like, he wants to go to the strip clubs. And stop picking your nose.
I'm not.
You're driving me crazy. He wants to go to the strip clubs, and he's making all these weird advances towards the Black World lady. And they're just kind of shutting him down. And he's like, oh, this is so boring. These peace accords are so boring. Let's liven things up a little bit. And the Santo's like, dude, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to the strip club. We're taking you straight to the hotel, which is a safe house, and it's protected from, Black World magic and stuff like that. And that's where we're going to hang out. We're going to spend the night. We're going to get up early in the morning, go to the Peace Accords, and then after that, you can go to all the strip clubs you want and do whatever you want to do, man. I don't care after that. So Giuseppe's like whining and griping about this. You guys are so boring. Blah 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 blah. They take him to the hotel. It's like magically safeguarded from dark magic and conspirators and things like that.
Like a witch?
Like witches, yeah. It's protected from all that stuff, is what I'm telling you. So they get there. Everything's cool. Giuseppe keeps making advances towards the young lady from the Black World. And they decide that she's going to take the first watch because somebody has to be in his room with him at all times. She's going to take the first watch. Santo's downstairs talking to the front desk guy, who's like an old friend of his. And naturally, the building comes under attack from Black World renegades. And it gets the initial fight is downstairs between Santo, the front desk agent, who happens to have a scorpion. He's got like a harpoon, like scorpion throws. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like a hook?
Yeah, it's like the harpoon with the chain. He goes, get over here. Like Scorpion in Mortal Kombat. He has one of those, which is pretty cool. So this weird guy shows up, and he's got he can do like stretchy arms. You know what I'm saying? Like Mr. Stretch Armstrong, where he can reach way over there to grab stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. He does like that. He can and Elastigirl. Yeah, he does all that stuff, and he puts up. I think he kills the front desk guy, and he manages to knock out Santo by collapsing portions of the hotel. Raven's in the house. What's up, Raven? Say hi to Raven.
Hello, Raven.
There you go. Manages to knock out Santo for a few minutes. He then goes upstairs to the room where Giuseppe's being held, and he has to fight the Black World girl. Now, this fight, it starts off as a fight, but the Black World girl is quickly subdued by this guy, who we're going to find out is actually her ex-boyfriend from the black world. And this is where things get very spaghetti-like, if you understand what I'm saying. A lot of it gets very don't do that. You're gonna get me in trouble with your mom. It gets very it gets rapey, if you understand what I'm saying, because he like holds her down, disrobes her, and uh, uh, uses his fingers in a very spaghetti-like fashion, if you understand what I'm saying. It's very no, you don't understand. It's very I would call it a um it's a involuntary sexual. Yeah, you don't know anything. Don't worry about it. It's uncomfortable, is what I'd say, but it's also anime style. So you get to see everything, and you get to see some serious manipulation. Fast forward to the fight scene. Well, this is kind of the fight scene, Clay. So I mean, I hate this is kind of what passes for action in 1987 anime. Regardless, this goes on. Eventually, Santo wakes up, runs upstairs. Involuntary spaghetti is what we're talking about, Sharon, and that's how it goes down. So Santo wakes up. He goes out and manages to catch this lewd interaction in progress. Yes, and shoots the guy, knocks him out. And right about that time is when the Black World girls' lady parts kind of take on a Venus flytrap aspect and basically snap this dude in half. And you get to see all of that in graphic fashion in anime, sort of a way, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's pretty gnarly. After that, they're like, dude, we got to Giuseppe's like hiding under the couch. They're like, Giuseppe, we got to get you out of here, man. It's not safe. So they grab him, throw him in the car, take off. Now, not too far away from here is a place called the Citadel. It's about an hour away from where the hotel is. The Citadel is like a military stronghold for our world, and it's supposed to be like impenetrable by Black World forces. So they get in the car, they get going. They get about, I don't know, half hour down the road, and then they get accosted by a bunch of dudes on motorcycles, and they manage to cause a car accident. The everything's kind of everybody's shaken up for a second. They get out, and then they have to fight off these guys on the motorcycles who are also Black World renegades. The young lady,
so that's why they crashed into them.
Yes, because they're trying to kill Giuseppe is what they want to do, because they want the peace accords to fall apart. You understand? They want to start another war between our world and the Black World, which is not cool. Nobody wants that except for them. The girl, the Black World girl, the other agent, gets out and manages to fight off these dudes. She has her own Black World powers, and she manages to kill them, which is good. But in doing so, this thing pops out of the back of the car, and it's got a bunch of tentacles. And
like an octopus?
Oh yeah, you could say that. It's not really an octopus, but it has octopus-like appendages, and things get even with the involuntary spaghetti, because the well, let's just say the tentacled creature takes some liberties with our Black World agent, and the Black World agent, of course, has to sacrifice herself so that Giuseppe and Santo can get away, which they do. That sucks, but Giuseppe and Santo make it to the Citadel. Our Black World female agent, however, has a pretty rough time with the tentacles. Multiple orifices are filled.
Is that tentacle dude on our side or their side?
Their side for sure. He is not a good guy. But the girl he wraps up and penetrates in various orifices and in graphic fashion. Classic spaghetti. If you were to Google tentacled spaghetti, this was probably the scene that would pop up. Is it uncomfortable in here, or is it just me? It's getting a little weird. All right. Anyway, so that's gnarly. Giuseppe and Santo make it to the Citadel, and it's not too long before the Citadel is under attack too, because now everybody is trying to kill Giuseppe from the Black World, and it's really creating a problem for these peace accords.
Why?
Because they want to have a war with us, and without Giuseppe, there's going to be a war. So Giuseppe's in there, and like the Black World forces are knocking at the door of the Citadel, which they weren't supposed to be able to do. Santo goes out there and he's like, "What's up, you guys? What's your problem?" And this big demon pops up and he's like, "Ha ha 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 ha! I've got you now. You give me Giuseppe, I'll give you the female agent back." And he's like, "No, no, I don't. No, we're not doing that. But I'll make you a deal, you big crazy demon. How about you take me instead of the female agent?" Because Santo has like this sense of honor, and he doesn't like the fact that she sacrificed herself to save him and Giuseppe. So he's like, "All right, I'll go. I'll go. You know what? Let her go. I'll go." And he's like, "Well, if you can find her, then I'll honor that agreement. It's best your wife doesn't watch the show." Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're exactly right, Matt. So Santos like the demon's like, "Okay, meet me at the gates of hell, and then we'll see what happens." So he goes to the gates of hell, which are apparently in an abandoned warehouse, where we see a DP in progress. Um, it has to do with spaghetti.
Again?
Yeah, there's a lot of spaghetti in this movie. And the term finger cuffs comes to mind when we see what's happening to our female agent. Two demons giving her the spaghetti in the front and the back. If you understand what I'm talking about, and it's graphic because you get to see everything you want to see. And Santo walks in and he's like, "Oh God, what is this? What are you? What is even going on here? I thought you guys were supposed to be demons." And he's like, "Ha ha 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 ha." So he kills the two demons that are mid coitus and has to fight like a big boss demon. And luckily, the partner manages to snap out of her DP just in time to help him do that. They manage to knock out the big boss demon. And but just right after the big boss demon, like the big boss demon gets killed, Santo and his partner take off. Right after they leave, though, the spider chick comes back, the one from the beginning of the movie. She like spins a web. She's still naked, and she's still like all spidery, and she's like, "Hey, this is working perfectly." And he's like, "Oh God, they really put the big demon's like they really put a beating on me. You're gonna have to track him down yourself until I can regenerate." So she's like, "Yeah, I gotcha." So Santo and his partner are like hauling ass back to the Citadel to grab Giuseppe and try to get him to the peace accords. Uh, they get about halfway there. Now, during this long car ride, we get a very long conversation, which is dubbed in English, by the way, double portion spaghetti. That's exactly right, Clay. That's about the best way that I could think of to put that. um, a lot of spaghetti going on. How much spaghetti you think you could eat, Deacon?
Um,
You're a spaghetti fan, right? You like spaghetti? I like spaghetti.
who doesn't like
I mean, who doesn't? Really? Who doesn't like spaghetti? Everybody's a fan of spaghetti. I like spaghetti and meatballs. Deacon's more of a chicken spaghetti type of a dude. But regardless, they get about halfway back to the Citadel and they're having this big conversation. Santo's like telling her about, "Oh, nobody's ever made that kind of sacrifice for me." And she's like, "You know what, Santo? I really feel things for you." And we're getting this. They're falling in love, is what's happening here, which is kind of weird to watch happen in an anime situation, especially considering the DP uh, business that we just witnessed with the female agent. Regardless, that's what's happening. They get it. They have to drive through a tunnel to get back to the Citadel. They get about halfway through the tunnel. Down drops the spider lady, spins their car into a web, and like suspends them. They both pop out of the car thinking they're gonna beat up the spider lady. Spider lady kills them both. Bang, bang, just like that. Now at this point, I was thinking the movie's over. All right, let's go. Let's call it a day. It was not. That was not to be. Because from there, apparently, we're going to cut to them in the afterlife or some other revenant state in which the two of them are enjoying some spaghetti together in a very 1980s fashion with slow music and a weird psychedelic backdrop and like a lot of spinny, twirly stuff going on. It's very romantic. I know you don't know what that means. You probably have no idea why we're talking about so much spaghetti, but that's fine because I'm not going to let you watch this cartoon because it's a little wacky, and I think it's going to give you nightmares. It gave me nightmares in a weird way.
When you were 5 years old.
I didn't watch this when I was 5 years old. I watched it about a week ago.
You were 10 years old?
When I was 10 years old, yeah.
Are we gonna end this?
Oh, what are you talking about? We're having fun here. Are you not having fun? We're having fun, right, guys? Is everybody having fun? I'm having a blast. Anyway,
Is anybody that's watching this? If anybody's watching this show and they do not like spaghetti, then
everybody likes spaghetti.
watching the show.
Clay likes double portion spaghetti. That's a lot of spaghetti, dude. All right, enough with the spaghetti. So they're having spaghetti together in like a weird psychedelic fashion. And when they finish their spaghetti, they are in a church and they're both naked. And they're like, "What happened? We were just having spaghetti. Now we're in this church and we're both naked." In walks Giuseppe down the aisle of the pews, and he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What is it? Break time? What's going on? You're supposed to be getting me to the pizza court." And they're like, "Oh, I thought we were dead. We just got attacked by the spider broad, and I thought that she killed us both." And he's like, "All right, I'm going to come clean with you guys." And this is where we get our big reveal. And this part was actually pretty fascinating, I thought. What we find out, and this was going to blow your mind, blew my mind. I was like, wow, check this out. So we were under the impression that these two agents were actually sent to protect Giuseppe and get him to the peace accord because he was the deciding factor of the peace accord, right? Now we're going to find out that Giuseppe was actually protecting them, and they are the ones that are actually responsible for the peace accord because these two, Santo and the female agent, were like predestined to be together. And because they just enjoyed so much spaghetti together, they are now going to have a baby that is of the black world and our world. And that is what's going to broker the next generation of peace and probably the next millennia of peace between the two worlds. And Giuseppe is actually quite the fighter, and he was actually protecting them the whole time. And they're like, "What the what? I'm a skilled agent of the protection unit." And she's like, "Hey, I'm not some kind of a prostitute. I'm here to protect you." And he's like, "No, I've been protecting you. We needed you guys to have spaghetti together so that you could have a baby, and then this would be the next millennia of peace," is what we're saying. And they're like, "Oh," as they're having this conversation, the first big bad demon, the guy with like the weird stone hand, shows back up. And he's like, "All right, you jerk offs, I'm ready to punch you right in the face because I can't be having all this, spaghetti going on. We need to get another war going." So Giuseppe now is going to fight the big bad demon. They like a little spaghetti with clam sauce. I mean, you can do a lot of different sauces with spaghetti. I know you're used to like a spaghetti sauce, right, Deacon? You could do like an Alfredo sauce, which is white. Does that blow your mind? There's all kinds of different sauces you can put on spaghetti. So that's something to think about. But anyway, that's the real of what was going on in the Wicked City. So after that, Giuseppe has to fight the big demon. Giuseppe, unfortunately, they managed to do peach spaghetti. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Clay. It's a big spaghetti feast, and it's going to produce a lot of weird babies, spaghetti babies, I guess.
So there's spaghetti on babies?
There is spaghetti on babies. This show has gone completely off the rails, and this is just how it's going down, Deacon. So that's what happens. Giuseppe unfortunately gets killed in his battle with the big demon. But the big demon also gets killed in a weird kind of like The big demon is a nasty customer because he can like sink into shadows and reappear in other shadows in like a teleporting situation. And Giuseppe's super fast and he knows kung fu and stuff, but he's having a hard time. Make a long story short, they kill each other, and that's pretty. Then Santo and the female agent kind of walk off, and that's pretty much the end of your movie. What do you think, Dee Dee? Wicked City? Does it sound like something you'd want to watch? I'm not going to let you watch it. I'll tell you right now. It's too much spaghetti.
Yeah,
I don't know that you're ready for spaghetti.
I don't either.
Okay, excellent. Stick with Finding Nemo. You've seen Finding Nemo? Sharon says stick with Finding Nemo. Just to clarify everything, I'm not that bad of a parent. I did not let him watch Wicked City.
If
He's seen like The Howling. He's seen The Thing, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chain. You've seen them. You've seen all the horror movies with me, right? They give you nightmares, any of them? Not really. No. But to be fair,
if
none of them have had this level of spaghetti as Wicked City does. And you don't, in those movies, you don't get to see full on spaghetti as opposed to Wicked City, where there is fully right up on you with the spaghetti.
if you
There's mouth spaghetti at one point. Think about that.
if
You know what I'm talking about, Sharon. Right up in somebody's mouth. I'm sorry. Am I interrupting you? All right, go ahead. What do you got to say, Dee Dee?
if you're a kid and you're watching the show, then you should not watch this video.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right, Deacon. You can watch this video if you're a kid, or if you're a big fan of spaghetti. Do not watch Wicked City. But if you do want to watch Wicked City, it's streaming for free right now on Midnight Pulp, or I believe also on Tubi TV. There's probably a version on YouTube. I don't know if there's as much spaghetti in that version as there is in other versions. The one on Midnight Pulp is the one that I watched, and it showed you everything short of the tonsils. If that tells you what I'm talking about. What do you think, Deacon? No? Spider chicks? Scary stuff? Have I piqued your interest? Are you interested in watching the old Wicked City?
No.
No? Okay, good. Let's keep it that way. No children should watch this. What's that supposed to mean, Crack House Matt? Hey, Padded Room, how's quarantine going? Well, as you can see, Rich, I'm down to my last co-host here. So if that tells you anything, Deacon's doing a great job. My 5-year-old son, Deacon, everybody, out of kindergarten now, and apparently not going back anytime soon. So that really sucks. I've about had it with this quarantine stuff. Regardless, inmates, we're going to take us a little break. We'll come back with some other stuff.
Oh, I'm tired now. Good thing we're ending the show.
We're just ending the live portion. I still have the rest of the show to do, but you don't have to hang out if you don't want to.
I want to hang out.
Okay, you want to say goodbye to everybody at the on YouTube and the Psycho Bunny Death Cult?
Sure. I forgot their name.
Bye.
Bye.
And join us now. Okay, next month is going to be Uwe Boll. Deacon can probably pronounce names better than Buddy. Yeah, you're probably right. I think they like you better than they like Buddy, Deke. What do you think of that?
Wow.
I know. Next month in the Padded Room is going to be Uwe Boll month. Those are some bad. It's not looking good. Those are some bad movies, and most of them are based on video games. But join us next week for Seed here in the Padded Room. Might be me and Deke again, or it might just be me, or I don't know. I don't know what's up with Buddy. They might be avoiding me because of the quarantine. I don't blame them if they are. I don't blame them one bit. I don't.
If they are, then why?
Maybe because YouTube does have the full movie, Clayton says. Of Wicked City, probably. So if you want to watch Wicked City and see some full-on animated spaghetti penetration, then apparently it's on YouTube. So I don't. But to be honest, Clay, I don't know what they might have. You know how YouTube is. Sometimes they take stuff out, whatever. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Other than that, I think that's about it for us. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Join us next week for Seed, starting Uwe Boll month here in the padded room.
If you are watching this video, make sure if you have more people living with you, then make sure you tell them to watch this video, watch the next Padded Room podcast.
That's exactly right. Wasn't there a poll for Uwe Boll not to make any more movies? There was, Clay, and he actually funny story. I know I'm going off on a tangent. He actually challenged some of his critics to a boxing match. Like, I don't know what the point of that is. I can't make a good movie, but instead I'll just beat you up, I guess. From what I understand, he's actually a pretty good boxer. He should probably stick to that.
What boxer are you talking about?
He's talking about a guy named Uwe Boll, who's a German horror movie director who has made some of the worst horror movies. He's made some pretty bad horror movies. Most of them are based on video games, which is usually not a good sign. Although not in every case. There are some good movies based on video games. Resident Evil, the first one, the first Mortal Kombat, pretty good movie.
Daddy, when are we gonna play that video game board game?
Oh, Atmosphere?
Uh-huh.
We can do that. Maybe this weekend we can break that out. Yeah, so
I have a beer.
You do not have a beer. Get out of here. Blood Rain. Blood Rain was pretty good only because what's her name gets naked in it. I don't understand that. You've got Michael Madsen in your movie. Why is he not playing a dirty cop or a drug dealer? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Thank you guys again very much for joining me. Join me next week for Seed here in the Padded Room Podcast. PaddedRoomPodcast.com for anything you need to know about us, any of our affiliate programs, any links that you need to our Patreon account or back shows, whatever. If you like this show on the Psycho Bunny Death Cult, you want to watch it again, it's going to be streaming in about 3 minutes from now on YouTube in its entirety with Deacon and lots of spaghetti. Thank you again for joining us. What?
If you
You don't have to talk into the microphone, bud.
If you want to have another weird.
Do you need help getting on your chair?
No. If you want to watch another weird show, then make sure you have to ask your parents if you're a kid first.
Definitely ask your parents first. All right, much love.
Or if you want to do a show that we can watch, make sure you ask your parents too, or they can ask you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you again for joining us.
Ooh. Bye-bye.